What's that old song say? Accentuate the positive, ignore the negative. That's what this video is. This is a video that celebrates and accentuates the miracle fish, the hardy fish that were able to survive Ice-ageddon here in Nashville. Let's take a look at the fish that made it, and let's put our attention on the good and the positive in the wake of 5 days without power. Let's take a look at the tanks and rejoice in those fish that were able to make it through and are now thriving. Let's go.
I was so happy to see the apistos survived. All three of them survived. They were hiding in caves or down behind rocks or plants, and so I wasn't really sure until the ordeal was over that they had made it. And after the tank warmed up a little bit, they came out from their hiding places, and I was very happy to see that all three had gotten through the 5 days of no power. Keeping in mind these tanks got into the mid-50s, high 40s, and that was no doubt very, very stressful on all of the fish. But the apistogrammas turned out to be pretty rugged, much more rugged than I really thought they would be. And so that was actually a pleasant miracle in this process. You can see they're active, they're eating well, their color is good. Very, very happy with that outcome, with those recent additions to my planted community. Who would think that neons would survive? There were some cardinals in here, they're gone, but this little group of neons did make it. I know the word on the street is that if you look at a neon wrong, he's going to die on you, but these turned out to be a bit more robust than most. Keep in mind, this is a very established tank, a very seasoned tank, and they've been living for a long time under very good conditions. So I think that sort of armored them up a little bit to be able to withstand a bit of that temperature abuse that occurred during those 5 days. The 5 cory cats in here are doing great. They were pretty much active and acting themselves throughout the whole process, so cories are obviously more resilient. In the pleco playground, I did lose all those plecos. The first that went were the albinos, but the albinos in this aquarium did fine. These are bushy nose plecos. I have a good number of albinos and the standard bushy nose in here. They just keep breeding. I didn't think these little galaxy Danios would make it, but they did. Heckle and Jekyll, always harassing each other. Just 2. So I did lose a couple of them, but those 2 made it, along with these small little teeny embers. They eat that floating powder from Aquarium Co-op, that magic floating food. The rasboras, the brilliant rasboras, and the harlequins rasboras did very, very well, and surprisingly, if you look there on the upper right, you'll see that empire gudgeon. There's both of them are in there. Both of the gudgeons made it, surprisingly, and I'm very, very pleased about that. I may have 2 females, so I might not end up with a colored up gudgeon after all, but I'm just really happy that both of them made it. And I was really surprised. They were hiding very well during the whole thing. Love schooling rasboras, as you know. And again, I thought that these would expire, but they surprised me. And they're still in there. The plants didn't seem to melt back or react negatively to the extreme low temperatures. As you can see, I'm not seeing a lot of discoloration or problems. All the plants look good. I am seeing a lot of baby snails. So maybe this particular type of snail likes the cold weather, the cold temperatures. But the Anubias, which I thought would have been more sensitive to cold temperature, seems to be fine. The only plant that really seemed to suffer at all was the hornwort, which was part of my hot plant experiment in the discus tank, and the hornwort was turning out to be a plant that did very well in hot temperatures. So I think it does tend to do better in warmer temps. And I was experimenting with Amazon swords. I actually ordered some from the aquarium co-op, and they had sent them over to me. And there they are. I was going to try them at 83 degrees. The ones they had sent previously seemed to be doing okay. And that was just part of my planted discus tank. Of course, the discus are all gone now, so this is just an empty planted tank. That's an Anubias that came over from the Pleco playground that is now sitting in what was the discus 55-gallon. Instead of 83 degrees, though, that tank is now at 75.6, so those plants are probably more comfortable overall, and I am continuing to use fertilizers in that aquarium. In the 90-gallon, I'm very happy to report that Paratilapia, Polini, the Starry Night, did make it. He was hiding, and against the black background, he's very good at disappearing, but he's still there. I thought the Polini curse was continuing, but he did survive. The geos were looking a little stressed, hanging out at the bottom under the wood and not moving much, but they have bounced back as the temperatures have gone up in the tank, and I'm very happy to report that green tear is looking good. Those Congo tetras, boy, they are really resilient. There's one of the red-head tapajos. Beautiful fish. I'm so glad that he bounced back after the temperature went up in the tank. This is one of the Savinis that were, the two large ones that were moved over to the 210 unfortunately didn't make it. But this one looks pretty good. You can see the Congos here playing with that Siamese algae eater who's very feisty this morning. I did, of course, lose the red-spotted gold severum. That was a horrible loss, but overall, I mean, I feel very lucky about what happened in this tank. I'm thinking of getting another severum, maybe a few of them. They did really well in this aquarium. We'll see. Any suggestions you have on what fish I should be adding, let me know in the comments below. Over at the 210, this chocolate didn't do that bad throughout the whole ordeal. He was swimming around and not looking too stressed. I can say that about the other chocolate. The other chocolate cichlid at one point was actually upside down, and I was pretty sure that I was going to have to net him and remove him. You can see he looks a little beat up, but he is rebounding, swimming around, eating, looking good. Jackie, my little female Jack Dempsey, was also hanging around the bottom, but now she's looking bright and is eating well. I'm so happy that Sally the Salvini, got through this. I was not anticipating watching her expire. I've had her for a long time, several years, and I think she's the prettiest Salvini on YouTube. The big Vieja and the big Tiger Oscar seemed to do okay. They did have a point where they were just hanging around at the bottom and not moving much, which was a little bit alarming and concerning. Really kept me swapping out that water, trying to keep the temperature up with no heaters. But they got through it, and now they're back to themselves, and this Tiger Oscar is jumping out of the aquarium, trying to get food out of my hand. So he's back to being himself. Again, I was not looking forward to removing a big fish. This albino, surprisingly, this albino Tiger Oscar was pretty normal throughout the whole thing, swimming all around and the space blankets I was putting over the tanks to keep them warm, he was peeking out from underneath and following me around in the fish room. So he was a lot more resilient than I thought. He's normally been a little more sensitive than the large tiger Oscar, but he didn't seem to mind that low temperature. I know they're from the same batch. Just amazing how you can get different reactions from fish to circumstances. The firemouth at one point was hanging out at the bottom and not moving much and looking kind of gray, but he's gotten all his color back. Just like Jackie. Yep, I did lose one of those silver dollars, unfortunately. One of my dither fish. But the ones that are left are all bounced back. Overall, I can't complain about what happened in this 200-gallon, 210-gallon. I would call that the outcome a success. In the 300-gallon African cichlid tank, I did lose one Fusco, but again, overall, those manual 30 to 50% water changes of adding 80-degree water, conditioned water, did work to keep these guys alive. And you can see now that the temperatures have normalized, they're looking really good. Little fire hap. I am keeping an eye on that deep water, but even he is starting to bounce back. My gar, Mara rocks, Borley eye. Just a great group of fish, very resilient, good stock. Very happy with what I'm seeing here. Autophenix tetrastigma. Loving the look of that tangerine tiger. The thought of removing, a dead Malawi trout was something I was not looking forward to. I've had that fish for several years. I am so glad that he made it through and is really back to being himself. I consider this tank probably the biggest miracle. Fish are a little more resilient, I think, than we give him credit. You can see there he's not as pale looking as he was during day 4 of the 5-day power outage. That deep water is definitely on the mend. Fingers crossed.
I'm so happy that those fish were able to get through this. I'm shocked in the case of some of them that they did. Surprising fish that I didn't expect did make it through. Ones that I thought for sure could survive it didn't. And I'm very disappointed that the discus didn't make it, but honestly, in light of circumstances, I didn't really expect them to. In hindsight, using the generator to charge battery packs, let's say like uninterrupted power supplies. If I had had an uninterrupted power supply dedicated exclusively to the discus tank that was being charged by the generator, and kept charged by the generator, dedicated exclusively to that tank, I probably could have gotten through this. You always learn something. You always take something away from these kinds of situations, and especially the more serious ones where fuel becomes scarce or impossible to get because of bad roads, or it's just sold out everywhere. And so, all right, what's plan B? What's plan C? What's plan D? And boy, I've been giving that a lot of thinking. Battery packs are moving real high in the list of things that I should have had more of, and using the generator more as a battery pack charger. Kerosene heaters, gas burning internal heaters that are safe to use, things like that. are all starting to make more and more sense. I'm going down the rabbit hole of survivalist equipment in the hope that we never experience this again. But again, using an old cliche, hope for the best, plan for the worst. Thank you so much for watching. You are appreciated. And I hope to see you on Saturday for a live stream. And by the way, look for me in Chicago in March. I will be speaking at the Greater Chicago Association up there. So look for that. Thank you, my friends. That's it for me. Bye-bye.